August 22, 2022. It was only 12 seconds long. A simple phone video. A young couple stood side by side on a quiet riverside bridge, laughing as if they didn't have a single worry in the world. The afternoon sun reflected off the water behind them, while a gentle breeze moved through their hair. To anyone watching, it looked like another happy memory. A harmless social media challenge. A couple in love. But years later, detectives would replay those same 12 seconds again and again. Not because of what the camera captured, but because of what it didn't. The young woman, Claire Morgan, held 2 bottles of mango juice in her hands. She smiled. She laughed. She even teased the man filming her. Yet investigators would later say that behind that smile was a plan already in motion. A plan that would end one innocent life. "Stop recording," Claire laughed, covering the bottles with her hands. The man behind the camera, Ethan Carter, grinned. "Not until you tell everyone what this challenge is." Claire rolled her eyes playfully. "It's just a juice challenge." "Then explain it." "I will, after you stop filming." The video ended. Just 12 seconds. Nothing more. No argument. No fear. No warning. Only a smile that would later become one of the most disturbing pieces of evidence in a murder investigation. 10 months earlier. October 2021. Ethan Carter was 23 years old. He was finishing his final year in medical imaging at Westbridge Medical College. Quiet, respectful, and deeply devoted to the people he loved, Ethan wasn't someone who fell in love easily. Then one afternoon, during a bus ride home, everything changed. She was sitting alone near the window, reading a novel. The sunlight fell across her face as she looked outside. For a brief moment, Ethan forgot where he was. He had never believed in love at first sight. Until that day. The empty seat beside her felt like fate. Trying to hide his nervousness, he asked politely if the seat was free. Claire looked up. She smiled. Of course. That simple conversation lasted less than 20 minutes. Yet neither of them realized it was the beginning of a relationship that would completely change both of their lives. They exchanged numbers before leaving the bus. Within days they were texting constantly. Soon came late-night phone calls. Coffee dates. Long walks. Weekend trips. Life suddenly felt brighter. Claire Morgan was 22. She was studying English literature at Ashfield University. Beautiful. Intelligent. Confident. She always knew the right thing to say. She listened carefully. She remembered small details. She laughed at Ethan's jokes even when they weren't funny. To Ethan, she wasn't just beautiful. She felt perfect. Months passed. Friends began calling them the perfect couple. Pictures from cafes filled their phones. Birthdays. Road trips. Sunsets. Little adventures. Every memory made Ethan believe he had finally found the woman he would marry. What he didn't know was that Claire wasn't dreaming about the same future. Early in 2022, everything quietly began to change. Claire became distracted. Sometimes she ignored Ethan's calls. Sometimes she disappeared for hours without explanation. Whenever Ethan asked if something was wrong, she smiled. "I'm just busy." He believed her. Love often makes people ignore the signs they would normally notice. Then one evening, Ethan received news he never expected. Claire's family had arranged her engagement to another man. A decorated military officer. Successful. Financially secure. Respected. The wedding was planned for the following year. Ethan felt like the ground disappeared beneath his feet. He confronted Claire immediately. "Is it true?" She looked down. "I didn't know how to tell you." "So, we're over." She stayed silent. That silence answered everything. Heartbroken, Ethan walked away. For days he ignored her messages. Ignored her calls. Ignored every apology. He thought their story had ended. But Claire wasn't ready to let him go. She kept calling. Again. And again. Finally Ethan answered. Claire cried over the phone. She said her parents were forcing the marriage. She insisted she loved only him. "I'll run away with you," she whispered. "When?" "In November. I promise." Those words changed everything. Ethan believed every single one. His friends warned him to be careful. But when someone you love promises forever, logic becomes much quieter than hope. Their relationship started again. Stronger than before. Or at least, that's what Ethan believed. As the months passed, Ethan became even more serious about building a future together. He talked about apartments, jobs, marriage, children. Claire smiled every time he mentioned those dreams. But whenever she was alone, her smile disappeared. She wasn't planning a future with Ethan anymore. She was counting the days until her arranged marriage. The closer that date came, the more trapped she felt. Ending the relationship honestly would expose everything. Her fiancé would leave. Her family would be humiliated. Her reputation would collapse. She wanted a future without Ethan. But she also wanted to avoid every consequence. That was when her lies became darker. One evening she told Ethan she had visited an astrologer. "The stars say something terrible," she said quietly. Ethan frowned. "What do you mean?" "They say my first husband will die." Ethan stared at her. "My horoscope says whoever marries me first, won't live long." She waited for fear to appear on his face. Instead, Ethan laughed softly. "You don't actually believe that." "I'm serious." "So am I." He reached for her hand. "If that's true, I'll marry you anyway." Claire's heartbeat stopped for a moment. The lie that was supposed to push him away had only pulled him closer. She tried again. Again. And again. Nothing worked. Instead of leaving, Ethan became even more determined. He had no idea that the woman he trusted with his future had already begun searching for a way to erase him from hers. And within weeks, Claire would come up with an innocent-sounding idea. A simple game. A harmless juice challenge. One that would change everything forever. For the next few weeks, Claire became the perfect girlfriend again. She answered Ethan's calls. She planned weekend trips. She held his hand in public and talked excitedly about the future they would share. Whenever they visited small cafes or quiet parks, she smiled as though nothing had ever gone wrong. To Ethan, it felt like they had survived the hardest part of their relationship. He believed love had won. What he didn't realize was that Claire had simply changed her strategy. If she couldn't convince him to leave, she would make sure he never had the chance. As her arranged wedding drew closer, panic slowly replaced every emotion she felt. She knew Ethan would never quietly disappear from her life. He loved her too deeply, trusted her completely, and still believed they would run away together before the end of the year. Then one evening, Claire came up with an idea. It sounded harmless. A fun social media trend. A juice challenge. She invited Ethan to meet her at a quiet riverside bridge where they had spent time together before. When Ethan arrived, he noticed Claire holding 2 bottles of mango juice. She smiled exactly the way she always did. Warm. Comforting. Familiar. Without thinking twice, Ethan took out his phone. "Let's record this," he said with a grin. Claire forced a smile. "No, stop recording first." "Why?" "I'll explain after." For a brief second, something about her expression seemed different. There was nervousness in her eyes, but Ethan dismissed it. Everyone gets camera shy sometimes. The recording lasted only 12 seconds. Then Ethan lowered his phone. Claire handed him one of the bottles. "Ready?" He nodded. They opened the drinks together. Claire took a small sip from hers. Ethan drank several mouthfuls from his. The juice tasted slightly strange. Almost bitter. He looked at the bottle. "Maybe it's just the mango flavor," Claire said quickly before he could ask any questions. Ethan smiled and finished drinking. An hour later, while driving home, everything changed. His stomach twisted with unbearable pain. He suddenly pulled over to the side of the road and vomited. Then again. And again. The sickness became so intense that he struggled to stand. Confused and frightened, he called Claire. "I don't know what's happening," he whispered weakly. "I've been throwing up since I left." Claire sounded shocked. "Oh my God, maybe the juice was spoiled." She apologized over and over, sounding terrified. To Ethan, her concern felt genuine. He even comforted her. "It's okay, it's not your fault." But after hanging up, Claire's expression completely changed. She wasn't worried because Ethan was sick. She was worried because he was still alive. That night, Ethan's condition grew worse with every passing hour. His family rushed him to the hospital, believing it was severe food poisoning. Doctors began treating the symptoms. No one, not even Ethan, suspected that someone he loved might have deliberately caused them. And while Ethan fought to stay conscious in a hospital bed, Claire sat alone, staring at her phone. Waiting for one message. One phone call. One piece of news. The news she believed would finally set her free. Claire expected the call to come before sunrise. She believed Ethan would never recover. But the call never came. Instead, the next morning, her phone lit up with a message from Ethan. "I'm still in the hospital. The doctors don't know what's wrong, but I'm fighting." Claire stared at the screen in silence. He was still alive. She quickly typed back with words that sounded caring and supportive. "I'm so sorry. I feel terrible. Maybe the juice was contaminated. Please get well soon." To Ethan, her messages were comforting. To Claire, they were part of the act. Over the next few days, Ethan's condition became even more serious. He couldn't keep food down. His kidneys and liver began showing signs of damage. Doctors ran one test after another, but nothing explained why a healthy young man was suddenly deteriorating so rapidly. Meanwhile, Claire never stopped texting. She constantly asked how he was feeling and reminded him to trust the doctors. It looked like the concern of a loving girlfriend. In reality, she was trying to make sure no one suspected her. As Ethan slowly regained enough strength to think clearly, something continued to bother him. He replayed the day of the juice challenge over and over in his mind. The strange taste. Claire's nervous behavior. Her insistence on stopping the recording. The questions refused to leave him. One evening, he confronted her over the phone. "Claire, are you sure there wasn't anything wrong with that juice?" There was a brief silence. Then she laughed softly. "Of course not. Why would you even ask that?" Ethan wanted to believe her. But for the first time since they had met, doubt entered his heart. A few weeks later, Ethan made an unexpected visit to Claire's house. She clearly hadn't expected him. Inside the house, Ethan noticed framed engagement photographs sitting on a table. He froze. Claire had promised she would cancel the wedding. Instead, the plans were moving forward exactly as before. His hands trembled. When he asked for an explanation, Claire avoided his eyes. Their conversation quickly turned into a heated argument. For the first time, Ethan realized that almost everything she had promised him had been a lie. After he left, Claire knew there was no turning back. As long as Ethan was alive, the truth about their relationship could destroy everything she had planned. Days later, Ethan's health suddenly collapsed again. This time, doctors noticed something unusual. The pattern of organ damage didn't match ordinary food poisoning. Specialists were called in. Toxicology experts reviewed every detail of his symptoms. What they discovered changed the entire investigation. There were strong signs that Ethan had been exposed to a highly toxic chemical. This was no accident. Someone had poisoned him. The case was immediately handed over to detectives. They collected Ethan's phone, his messages, his call records, security footage, bank transactions, every digital trace from the previous months. Then investigators found something that stopped them in their tracks. Just hours before the juice challenge, Claire had searched the internet again and again for information about poisonous substances, fatal doses, and how certain toxins affected the human body. It wasn't one search. It wasn't two. It was dozens. The smiling girlfriend was no longer just a witness. She had become the prime suspect. And the 12-second video that once looked like a sweet memory was about to become the prosecution's most powerful piece of evidence. As investigators dug deeper, Claire's carefully constructed story began to fall apart. She insisted that Ethan had become emotionally unstable after learning about her engagement. According to her, he had poisoned himself during an argument at her house, and she had nothing to do with it. But the evidence told a very different story. Forensic experts recovered deleted messages from Claire's phone. Those conversations showed that she had repeatedly promised Ethan they would marry and start a new life together, even while secretly preparing for her arranged wedding. Investigators also uncovered her internet search history. In the weeks leading up to the incident, she had searched for information about deadly chemicals, poisoning symptoms, how long toxins remain in the human body, and whether certain poisons could be mistaken for food poisoning. The searches were too specific to be dismissed as curiosity. Then detectives re-examined the 12-second video. Frame by frame. Claire appeared nervous before handing Ethan the juice. One bottle had already been opened, while the other remained sealed. Investigators concluded that the opened bottle had been prepared in advance. Medical experts delivered another devastating finding. The damage to Ethan's lungs, kidneys, and liver was not consistent with an ordinary illness. Toxicology reports confirmed that he had been exposed to a highly poisonous herbicide, a chemical powerful enough to destroy vital organs within hours. Police traced the source of the poison to someone connected to Claire's family. Investigators believed the chemical had been obtained before the attack and used as part of a carefully planned murder. As the evidence continued to grow, Claire had nowhere left to hide. During questioning, her explanations kept changing. Each new version of events contradicted the digital records, forensic evidence, and witness statements. Eventually, she admitted that she had tried to get Ethan out of her life, because she wanted to move forward with her planned marriage without facing the consequences of ending their relationship honestly. The investigation also revealed that the poisoning was not a single impulsive act. Detectives believed Claire had made multiple attempts over several weeks to harm Ethan before the final attack succeeded. The case went to trial. There were no eyewitnesses who had seen the poisoning happen. Instead, prosecutors built the case using scientific evidence, phone records, deleted messages, internet searches, forensic reports, and the short video recorded on the bridge. Piece by piece, every fact fit together. After hearing the evidence, the court found Claire guilty of the deliberate and premeditated murder of Ethan Carter. She received the maximum punishment allowed under the law. The judge described the crime as exceptionally cruel because it involved calculated deception, abuse of trust, and careful planning rather than a moment of anger. For Ethan's family, however, no sentence could bring him back. They had lost a son who believed he had found the love of his life. The person he trusted most had become the reason he was gone. The 12-second video remained one of the most haunting pieces of evidence in the entire case. To millions of people, it looked like a happy couple sharing a harmless moment. But investigators saw something entirely different. A smile hiding betrayal. A simple bottle hiding death. A few ordinary seconds hiding months of planning. This case reminds us that not every dangerous person looks threatening. Sometimes they smile. Sometimes they speak with kindness. Sometimes they promise forever. Real love is built on honesty, respect, and trust, not manipulation, lies, or control. Whether you are a man or a woman, never ignore repeated deception, emotional manipulation, or behavior that constantly makes you question reality. Love should make you feel safe, not trapped. Because the most dangerous lies are often told with the warmest smile,